Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, featuring the voices of G.B.M.H, America Ferrara, F. Murray Abraham, Kate Blanchett, Gerard Butler, Craig Ferguson, Jonah Hill, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Kristen Wiig, Kit Harington, and Justin Ruppel, and directed by Dean DeBlois. Now, I did see this twice, and I was kind of glad I sat through it the whole way twice, because, well, let's get into it, and I'll tell you why. We open the movie with Hiccup returning voice of Jerry Baruchel, with Toothless, Astrid returning voice of America Ferrara, with Stormfly, Snoltout returning voice of Jonah Hill, Fishlakes returning voice of Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Roughnut returning voice of Kristen Wiig, and Toughnut, this time, voiced by Justin Ruppel. And I'll explain what happened to T.J. Miller when I get to Deadpool 2, by the way. But they get dragons out of captivity with the help with Hiccup's mother, Valka, returning voice of Kate Blanchett, to see how they'll get the dragons out. And that was a cool sequence. And their town, Burke, is a hotel for dragons. I mean, they've got lots of dragons that you cannot believe until you watch the movie. And I really like the Hotel for Dragons. Gobber, returning voice of Craig Ferguson, tells Hiccup he can't keep the Hotel for Dragons without an army taking them away and the Vikings fighting back, and that's pretty good advice from Gobber. And I'm again enjoying these characters back with the new threat. Meanwhile, Gobber proposes Hiccup and Astrid getting married, and we'll get that pretty much a lot of back and forth throughout the movie about whether they get married or not. Grimmel, voiced by F. Murray Abraham, yeah, that's his voice, so is the most threatening bad guy, and he's even a better villain than Drago from last week. And I can understand him unlike Drago, and his plan is to get a Light Fury who will be, well, the Night Fury first, starting with Toothless, that will be Toothless's girlfriend halfway through the movie, which I've got to say, I love the relationship later on, and he wants to capture Toothless and keep it of his own, as well as the Light Fury. We get a flashback of where Hiccup sees his father, Stoic, returning voice of Gerard Butler briefly, and because he's dead after the last week's movie, he's only in the flashbacks, and I was fine with it because I don't think Stoic would resurrect after last week's movie. I was okay with it, to be honest. Toothless finds the Light Fury, and I swear their chemistry was pretty darn cute. He wants to see the Light Fury again, and she disappears. Hiccup and Astrid try to find the Light Fury and Toothless, and Toothless finds her at the woods, and they get to know each other at the beach later in the film, and that was funny and cute. Hiccup and Toughnut have a boy talk, and Hiccup finds Grimmel's trap, and Eretz, returning voice of Kit Harington, knows it's Grimmel, and Hiccup confronts Grimmel, and at first talk, and they get attacked by Grimmel's dragons. And I think that the action in that sequence was intense, and Grimmel asks Hiccup to give him Toothless in 24 hours, and Hiccup has an idea of leaving Burke and try to find the Hidden World. And everyone agrees after Hiccup's speech, which I like that speech. They fly to the new village. Well, it's not the Hidden World yet. They try to find it, but they go to a village, and the village is gorgeous. This animation has improved on me. It's just gorgeous, in my opinion. We get to the funny and cute scene with Toothless and the Light Fury, and it was adorable, especially on second viewing. Hiccup makes Toothless a new tail, and he lets Toothless go briefly, just to find his girlfriend and look cute together. Meanwhile, Valka realizes that Grimmel is following the Vikings. And I like that the Light Fury can go invisible and can go through fire and disappear, and Toothless can make lightning and disappear into a different location. And they fly together in Antarctica, which is just beautiful. Just beautiful, honestly. Hiccup and the gang go back to Burke and capture Grimmel, or try to, and take him back to their village, and is unsuccessful, and Roughnut gets captured by Grimmel and annoys the daylights out of Grimmel and releases her just to get her to shut up, and not only, but so they can find Hiccup's village so they can capture all the dragons, which was an intense sequence, might I add. Hiccup and Astrid find Toothless, and as he's the ruler of the hidden world, and Hiccup decides to get Toothless out of there. And can I just say, the hidden world looks gorgeous. And when it comes out, and when this movie comes out in 4K on home viewing, I'm grabbing the 4K Blu-ray, because this movie is drop dead gorgeous in my opinion. The Light Fury followed them back, and Grimmel captures Toothless and the Light Fury, and because Toothless is the alpha, the dragons go with Grimmel, and Hiccup has an idea on how to stop Grimmel and save all the dragons, and they stop Grimmel, and Hiccup lets Toothless and the rest of the dragons go on their own freedom, and journey, and not only does Toothless and the Light Fury get married and have kids of their own, but Hiccup and Astrid get married, as they brought it up earlier in the film, and almost throughout the movie, and have kids of their own. As well, and at first Toothless doesn't recognize Hiccup until he puts his hand on Toothless like a pet, like we saw in the first one. And Hiccup and Astrid and the kids dragon ride in the sky, and that's a beautiful message to end the movie on. And I'm kind of glad this is the way it ended. I mean, honestly, like, one way we can just have a good ending to it. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 9.1 out of 10. This has been the best trilogy to be a part of, and the way it ends is completely on a happy note. And I'm glad they're not doing any more based on because every step I'm going from 1, 2 to 3, it goes down a little further, but just a little bit, not too much. But I love the movie, and I again love the characters, and the relationship between Toothless and the Light Fury was beautiful, and this movie is drop dead gorgeous on the images. If you have kids, grandkids, or have seen the other movies as an adult, go see this movie. I mean, really, it's just beautiful and great to watch. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next week I will be back with the Avengers series with Captain Marvel. And until next time, fly, dragon, fly.